Hey, thank you for coming back. And in today's video, I'd like to talk to you about another gaming headset. It's the HP H360 gaming headset. Now let's take a look around the headset first before I get into anything. They got this nice suspension part in here for your head, so there's no foam or anything up here on the top of the headrest. They don't adjust really because this is really your adjuster part. They only move on the up and down axis, and you really don't get a whole lot of movement on there. They do not move side to side. They do have RGB lighting in it. It's mainly here, and there's some cutouts on the side, and the microphone, of course. I don't know if you can see it really good, but it has a blue tip and that lights up. I'll show you that in just a moment. It is a goose style or gooseneck style microphone, meaning it's kind of bendy, so you can have it real close or farther away, preferably a little bit farther away so you're not talking all close up on it. They got some really good, decent padding on the ear cups. It's that fake pleather stuff on the outside of it. It's very soft, it's very supple. The inward tension, it's there just enough to keep it on your head. So if you got a smaller head than mine, these might be falling off. If I were to shake my head a lot, there you go. You just seen it, they fell off. I mean, so the inward pressure or the inward tension isn't as great as it should be, or as some of the other gaming headsets I reviewed for you, but it will get the job done if you're not moving around too much. The cable is 6.5 feet long or 1.9 meters in length. There's no mute function whatsoever on these, okay? So you're out of luck on that one. On the back of the left ear cup right here, it's a rotary dial for the volume, and that just works for the 50 millimeter drivers that it comes with. It does not work with the microphone, like I said, so there's no mute function whatsoever. The microphone is noise canceling, and pretty much that's it. And I'm going to kind of give you two sound samples today. The first one, I'm going to plug this directly into my laptop using, as a matter of fact, let me show you how the cable ends. You get two ends. You get a full-size USB right here. Now that's just to run the lights and the headphones, and then you get this one here, a 3.5 millimeter plug, and it's TRRS, and the way you can tell is from the three black lines on it. But they do give you this is a Y splitter, so you would plug it into here, and these two, one's for the headphone jack, one is for the microphone jack, and as you can tell, there's two black lines on there. That means it's TRRS now. So what I'm going to do is the first audio test, I'm going to plug it directly in just using the normal 3.5 millimeter plug into my laptop so you can hear what the mic sounds like. Then I'm going to put the Y splitter on, and then I'm going to take the microphone part, just the microphone part. I'm going to put it in a USB external sound card. This is the newer one that I reviewed some time ago for you. Then I'm going to give you another sampling of what the microphone sounds like with the sound card. And then when I come back from that, I'm just going to have these plugged directly into the camera to give you my final thoughts of the HP 360 gaming headset. So without further ado, let's get to the first test video. Okay, right now what you are hearing is audio coming from the HP gaming headset, the microphone on it, and it's plugged directly into my laptop through the 3.5 millimeter port. And this is what it sounds like. I'm going to give a few moments of silence so you can see if there's any noise coming from the microphone. Hopefully that was good enough for you. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to unplug the microphone. I'm going to plug it into the Y adapter that it comes with, and then a USB external sound card. Matter of fact, the newer one I reviewed for you for some time ago. And I'm going to plug it in to the USB port to see if the audio improves or not. Give me a second, I'll be right back. Okay, now you're still hearing the same thing coming from the same microphone from the HP gaming headset, but instead of me being plugged directly into the 3.5mm port on my laptop, I am using the newer USB sound card to record this part of the test, or the microphone test. Once again, I'm going to give a few seconds of silence. Okay, and that was what the microphone sounds like while going through the newer USB sound card. Okay, now that was the first audio sample of the microphone that's built into the HP gaming headset, and there is a reason for it, and I'm going to be getting to that in just a moment. But before I do that, I'd like to tell you how these sound, the sound reproduction of the 50mm drivers that are in this gaming headset. It has a really good amount of bass in it. It's very deep, rich, and very well defined. It's not really going to tickle your ears or give you a really good deep rumble, but you could definitely hear the bass coming out of it. Maybe if you crank it up all the way, which is something I'm not going to recommend due to it could damage your ears. But the bass is definitely there, and you can hear it, and it does have a slight rumble to it, but not a whole lot. So if you're basically what I'm saying is if you want a lot of bass and you're a bass head and you want that kind of rumble and thunder and vibrations in your gaming headset, these are not going to be for you. The mid-range is really predominant in this gaming headset. It's very clean, it's very clear. You can hear everything from the shells hitting the, like when someone's shooting, you can hear the shells hitting the ground. You can hear when someone's locking and loading. You can really hear that. And the high end is very crisp and detailed as well. But it's not going to pierce your ears unless you tend to maybe crank it up all the way. Then you may get a little bit of that ear piercing from the high end. Overall, though, it's a very good, how can I put it, sound profile that they have in this gaming headset. When you're watching movies or listening to music or YouTube videos, it's all going to be pretty much the same as I described for you for the gaming. The bass is there. You can definitely hear it, especially if you like funk music. Like, I like Parliament, George Clinton and Parliament. So I listen to them a lot. I listen to a lot actually with these headphones, and you can definitely hear the bass. It's, like I said, it's warm, it's rich, it's very well defined, but it's not really going to be thumping your ears and giving you that little tickle. Like I said, these are more of a mid-range type listening experience. Okay. Now, the reason why I gave you kind of that first set of test for the microphone was because I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about recommending this gaming headset. I mean, it'll be great as a total backup gaming headset. Okay. With how loose they are, even on my big old head, these things are loose. You've seen them fall off. And a little bit of issues I have with, first of all, with the microphone. When it's plugged directly in, you heard the static. If you didn't hear it, please go back in the video and watch it again. When I used the USB sound card, that totally eliminated it. But what I had to do in order to play a game and talk and whatnot, I plugged the microphone in using this, but on that Y splitter, I had to plug the headphones into my laptop. Why? I don't know what it is, but when I used the sound card, no matter what sound card I used 4 different sound cards to try to get this to sound better. Whenever I'm using a sound card to listen to either music or play a game, the sound is kind of crappy. It sounds very kind of almost distorted, at no matter what volume I listen to it at either. It sounded distorted. But when I plugged the microphone just into this, so I can talk, but I took the headphone plug and plugged that directly into the 3.5mm port on my laptop, audio was fantastic. So, like I said, if you want to go through that trouble, there you go. Then get this. But for me, personally, I cannot truly recommend the HP H360 gaming headset. There's a little bit too much noise coming through the microphone, as you heard, when you plug it directly into, when I did, into my laptop. So, okay, granted, maybe my sound card in that is crappy, but I don't think so. I mean, when I did a test video like I am right now talking to you, this sounds beautiful. I didn't hear really anything on it. But if I plug it in my computer, I get static through the mic. And then, like I said, if I wanted to strictly use this, I cannot plug the headphones into a USB card because it sounds like it's being, like the headphones are being overdriven, basically. And they kind of are distorted. So in a way, the only thing I can suggest is maybe as a total backup headset, in case your nice ones break, you order a new set and you can't wait for them to come in, grab these and away you go. You'll just have to put up with it. Last thing I'm going to show you, that's the RGB lights, and the microphone lights up. So there you go. So once again, can I recommend the HP gaming H360 gaming headset? Maybe. Let's just say no. I think it's just too much of a hassle for you to get clean audio going out and coming in. I've done other headsets that were around the same price that give you an all-around better experience than these. So my personal opinion, stay clear of the HP 360 gaming headset. It's not worth the money. Well, if you happen to like this video, please give it that thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my channel and don't forget about that notification bell. It would really help me out a lot if you were to share this video and maybe some of my other videos on all of your social media sites. And until the next video, you, your friends, your family, and yes, even your pets, all of you have a great day. I'll see you in the next video.